Hey, this is the birthday coach, Jeremy Ryan, saying you were born for more. You deserve more love, happiness, and success. I help you achieve these things through the secrets of astrology. And this is the love karma of being born on the 6th of September. Now, if you're born on the 6th of September, or you know someone who is, this is some of the most romantic people on the universe. They have just an innate need to be in love. They're the ones that believe in the fairy tale endings and the romance novels and the movies that we like to watch about, the guy that rescues the damsel or the damsel that, finds her true soulmate despite all the challenges. So you would think that being born on the 6th of September and you being such a romantic person innately that you would have good love karma. But unfortunately, you have some of the most difficult love karma, and just for a couple reasons, and we're going to cover those here in a second, what your difficulty is for maintaining a long-term relationship. Now, September 6th can have long relationships, but they tend to jump from one relationship, maybe a few years, to the next one, and marriage is usually, for a lot of them, out of the question. Why is that? Well, if you're born on the 6th of September, your soul is a free spirit, baby. You came into this lifetime with a burning desire to get as many different experiences for yourself. You don't want to just hear about it or read about it. You want to experience life fully on your terms. So this is the adventure soul. There's spontaneous. These people could travel. They could try 100 different things. Their soul is constantly craving the new, the variety. And why? Because when we experience things firsthand, that's where true knowledge comes. Now, or wisdom, actually. You can get knowledge from reading, but wisdom is when you do it yourself and you learn about it and it becomes part of your identity. And so a September 6th person, their life many times is different than the rest of ours. Lots of twists and turns and ups and downs. And sometimes it's tragedy and sometimes it's victory and in between. Because once again, you're a free soul that is here to experience all the different shades and flavor of life. And that's what makes you a great lover. Because your soul is so open to experiencing and going deep and wide and far and open-minded. And who wouldn't be attracted to that? Who would not be? Tons of people are attracted to you. So you can date many people. But we're looking at trying to make your dating life or your relationship life a little more steady. And that word steady, it can make some of you kind of recoil. Why? Because number one, when someone's a free spirit, such as a September 6th, freedom is the most important word for you. And marriage, the M word, marriage, that sounds like jail for many September 6th people. It sounds like it's a control. And if you want to scare a September 6th out of a relationship, start smothering them or trying to control their time. You're not going to control someone born on the 6th of September. If you begin to try to control someone that is on this birthday, they are going to get out of that relationship quicker than you can blink an eye. Why? Because they need the freedom to explore all these different things in life. And if you're trying to control their time, they're going to buck up against you. And so if you're a September 6th person, you got to learn right off the bat, if you're going to be married, how do you keep your freedom without feeling controlled? But in relationships, sometimes you have to give up a little control or give up a little freedom to maintain a long-term relationship. This is part of your karma. How do you keep your freedom, keep the ability to travel or to try different things and be spontaneous while still being in a committed long-term relationship? And so that's not easy. So you might want to find a partner that likes freedom too. You might want to find someone that's not intimidated by your need for personal space, your need to go do things. In love, it brings up a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of jealous people that would not understand your need to, have many friends and try out many things. They could be intimidated by that. So one of my advice for you is to find someone else in the relationship that also likes your freedom. And then both of you can explore, and you both have an understanding of the need to do different things. And that doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily cheat on them or necessarily don't care about them. You're just living life fully, and they're a part of it, but they're not all of it. And a lot of people want to be everything. And so what causes a lot of the relationship problems is if you begin to feel like he is controlling your time or she's nagging at you for not giving enough time, you're going to feel smothered or controlled, and you're going to get the heck out of Dodge. I don't want you always jumping from relationship to relationship. It's okay if you want to. It's okay to say, I never want to get married. It's okay to say, I want to experience many different relationships. That's okay, September 6th. That might be one of the best things for you. But if you're saying, I do want a long-term relationship, then you got to start realizing the push and pull of being in love. You really, really are romantic. You really, really are excited to date. You finally fall in love with this guy or this girl. But now there's the seeing them every day or weekly. What do you do when you start feeling smothered or feeling like your time is limited? What do? You create distance. Now, having a little distance in relationships fine because it keeps it fresh, it keeps it interesting. But if you create too much distance, then it no longer feels like a relationship. It feels like a separation. So your trick is, how do I create just enough distance where I still feel free and fresh and able to do a lot of great things, but not too much distance where my significant other doesn't even feel like we're really a couple, or that I really don't care about them, or they're not a priority in my life. So karma number 1 is dealing with the freedom issue. How do you keep your freedom when you're feeling restless? Because September 6th, people are extremely restless individuals. Why are you restless? Because you're not here to maintain the status quo. You're here to shake things up. You're here to really experience all kinds of different things. And so when you really begin to feel restless, what does that do? It prompts you. It moves you. It gets you going. And so you're a soul that needs to go, 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 go. You may have some consistency for a while, but if it stays consistent too long, the universe sends drama to shake it up, because you're supposed to stay on the move, learn new things, and then share that information with the rest of us. Share what you're learning on this life journey with the rest of us. Share your adventures with us and your insights from all the things that you've experienced. But with that being said, once again, when you get restless, how do you shake things up without blowing up your relationship? Because a lot of times when you're restless, that's when you make a hasty decision. That's when you can jump out of a relationship. That's when you can create drama. You're creating drama in the relationship because you're tense, because you feel trapped. We don't want your relationships to feel trapped. You've got to figure out, when you're starting to feel trapped, what do you do to move yourself forward without necessarily leaving your partner behind? And that, I don't have any easy answers for that. You got to think about that. You got to have that talk with your significant other. You got to become aware when you're feeling triggered that that's what you're doing, is you're creating drama. So there's a blow up, instead of just saying, what can I do to give myself some freedom, give myself some new variety without necessarily blowing up the relationship just because I feel restless. So karma number 1 is dealing with that need for variety, for freedom, for constantly being on the go without losing or leaving your partner behind. Karma number 2, and this is a little more tricky one, is you have such high ideas about love. Like, you understand that love is everything. So even though I'm saying we like all the variety and all the different things of life, underneath it all, you realize the main goal is love, that love will ultimately heal us. That's why you love romance, because you know the power of love. You know the power of the heart being open. And it's a wonderful power. It's very, like they say, when you fall in love, the world just looks more beautiful. Everything becomes vivid colors. You, September 6th, understand the power of love to heal. But because you have such high ideas of love and you want your love to be a healing force, you many times pick what I would consider the wrong partners. Your love karma, some of the things that you're dealing with, is learning not to get in codependent relationships. What are codependent relationships? These are you choosing people that are beneath you or damaged in some way, an alcoholic, a drug addict, someone that can't keep a job, somebody that's got low self-esteem. Now, I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with anybody. I believe all of us are children of the universe. We are all made in God and Goddess image, but we all have struggles and we all have difficulties. But September 6th, there's a need in you to have your love heal people that you naturally gravitate towards picking damaged people if you're not careful. And so because you see the potential of a person, you know, I can make this person so much better. I can help it. You can't change anyone. Now, you could try to help someone. You think your love can heal them, but usually, no. Damaged people can only be healed by self-love. We have to love ourselves. Spirit love. The spirit in us loves us. We begin to love others, and us loving others heals. But in a relationship, you really don't want a damaged person if you want a healthy relationship. We all got some type of damage. We all need some type of healing. But I'm emphasizing for September 6th to be careful that you're not finding yourself in a savior martyr role. Whether it's the woman picking the men that are emotionally unavailable, or it's the men picking women that are drama queens, you have to say, I deserve a healthy mate. I deserve a mate or a soulmate, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, or a wife that don't have so many issues that make it almost impossible to sustain a healthy relationship right off the bat. Now, some of you are going to get mad at me, and some of you are going to say, I met my husband, he was a drug addict, we've been married 40 years. I'm happy. I hope that is the case for you. But for every one of those, there's thousands of people born on the September 6th that they get burned in love because they're constantly being drawn to people that are almost too damaged to love them back. So be a little bit more choosy about who you're getting in a relationship. It's okay. I know that sounds like it's taking the romance out for you. It sounds like it's taking out, romance should be automatic. We should just see each other and fall in love. Honey, you need to get a checklist. You need to get a checklist. Be a little more realistic, because part of your karma is being more realistic in love. And if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, that don't sound good, then you need this video, because you're almost idealizing love too much. You're almost making a relationship, like impossible to be real, because your expectations are so high about what you want in love that two things are happening. Either you think your love can heal the most damaged person, and so forth, it's codependent relationship, fighting, going away, coming back together because we're so desperate to love each other. Or it's the opposite. You can't even get a relationship because nobody's good enough for you. So it's the extremes. People that are way beneath you, that are going to trip you up, or the other extreme, nobody's good enough for you because your idea of Prince Charming and your idea of, the damsel or the queen or the princess, it's so great that it's unrealistic. Hey, relationships are work. And I know some people that are September 6th, they think that love answers everything. And I know there are sacred scriptures that say that love's the answer for everything. And love is the answer, but love has to also have some groundedness, some practicalness. It can't be so dreamy in the stars that you're not dealing with the reality of what the hard work of a relationship is. If you want a long-term relationship, it isn't always going to be roses and princesses and fairies and butterflies. Sometimes it's going to be, hard, get dirty, down in the ground work. And that doesn't mean that you don't love and your love's not real and that love isn't powerful. In fact, love is so powerful that you're able to deal with the realities of life. You're able to take your love and do practical things with it. And sometimes that doesn't seem as romantic or as magical as September 6th thinks that love should be, but that's part of your karma. Being able to put a little bit more practical reality to your love life. That will go a long ways from you, never finding somebody because there's so much pressure that you're putting on yourself for the ideal guy or the ideal woman. Take the pressure off of yourself. Realize that, yes, love may be heavenly, but we're earthly beings. We're on earth. We're not in heaven. Love may feel like heaven, but it's created on earth. And so take some pressure off of your relationship on wanting the perfect relationship or the ideal man or woman. There is no such thing as an ideal man or woman. But at the same time, don't try to become the savior of the most damaged people. So once again, let's look at the love karma of being born on the 6th of September. Number one, you got to deal with your need for freedom. How do you have freedom? What are your strategies of being able to still keep life interesting when you're in a long-term relationship? Number two, don't become codependent. Don't have such high ideas of love that nobody can live up to the reality. At the same time, don't try to heal people that are so damaged that the relationship doesn't even stand a chance. Because as much as you want to think that you love them that much, you can't love people out of their addiction. They have to love themselves through their addiction. You can pray, you can love them, but hey, I'm talking about what your karma is. If you want long-term, healthy relationship and success, then look at these issues. Being more realistic in love and not picking people that are too damaged and dealing with your need for variety, that need to keep trying things different. What's your strategy to keep the relationship fresh? What's your strategy to keep growing with your partner instead of growing apart? How can we grow together? How can we keep life interesting together without me feeling like, hey, I'm being pulled back, I'm being pulled down, I'm being stifled. Keep your life fresh, but how do you do that with a significant other? All right, if you would like more strategies for your love life, I do one-on-one coaching, a half an hour call over the phone. I call people and we'll talk about your love life, your career life. You look at 4 or 5 different astrology charts, and we're going to life coach you or business coach you on achieving your greatest good. And you can do that at thebirthdaycoach.com, thebirthdaycoach.com, and you can schedule right there your own personal live one-on-one phone call with me, half an hour, an hour, to help you see if you're compatible with the person that you're interested in. Are you guys compatible? Are both of you going to have a good chance of having a long-term relationship? The astrology can tell us if you're compatible. Even if you're not compatible as much, the astrology can tell us how you can still remedy, fix, or strengthen your relationship no matter who you're with. So if you want to understand your partner better, thebirthdaycoach.com, get you a live coaching call with me, Jeremy Ryden. Hey, keep those love vibes going, because you truly are romantic people, September 6th.